Many thanks for choosing us. My name is Aisha Ibrahim, one of the 98 NPP MPs who made a call to the President Akufo-Addo to sack Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta, has defended their walkout on the Censure Motion process. Now, despite wanting the same thing as the NDC, the NPP MPs refused to vote during the Censure Motion vote. Speaking to Joy News, MP for Anya Sotum, Dr. Dixon Adomakokisi explained they disagree entirely with the minority on the method they adopted, hence their walkout. He spoke with my colleague Kwekwa Sante, who will be joining me shortly via Zoom. But right now, there are many who have been worried about how the 8th Parliament has behaved since it was inaugurated. Joining me for more on this is Executive Director of the Africa Center for Parliamentary Affairs, Dr. Draman. Doc, you say what happened in Parliament was a further dent on the image of Parliament. Why so?
Aisha, we all were very excited when we heard the rebellion within the ranks of the NPP, and this coupled with the fact that already the minority side had been sounding alarm bells about the performance of the Minister for Finance. We thought that, history was about to be made, that for the first time, we would see Parliament exercise one of the tools, the powers that it has in terms of holding members of the executive to account, that is using the Censure Motion. Fast forward, several weeks and several events later, we were all witnesses to what happened yesterday. The majority side, I've heard you say one of the MPs who signed the petition has indicated that even though they wanted the minister out, they didn't agree with the motion by the NDC. This is very kind of a wrong political calculation on their part, if I may say so, because, knowing what was happening in Parliament and with the minister and all the events of last year, including the e-levy and the position of the minority, I thought, if they didn't mean what they said, they shouldn't have played into the hands of the minority and the hands of Ghanaians. Because they came out, stuck their necks, and said, we want this man out on the basis of principle and so on. And then we saw them, when it mattered most, deciding that, no, this is not what we actually intended to do. So you put all this together, Aisha, and it's yet another kind of negative, if I would say so, in terms of what we were expecting to see happen in the 8th Parliament, that a Parliament that will be very, very different from all the other parliaments before it in the 4th Republic. But alas, we are back to, I think, where we started many decades ago.
But Doc, how do you think that parliamentarians care less about their constituents in taking some of these decisions?
Yes, Aisha, and that's the worrying part, because as I was indicating this morning to your colleagues, a legislator faces a lot of dilemmas when he or she has to make a decision. And over the years, parliamentarians across the globe have been criticized that whenever they are confronted with that dilemma in terms of should they be looking at the national interest, the constitutional interest, the interest of the people, or the interest of some interest groups, party, president, and so on. In most cases, they have chosen to abandon the interests of the people that elected them and go with some of these other interests that are actually not the reasons why they've been elected to represent the people. And on this occasion, I think we saw that repeat itself, that at the end of the day, some of the MPs, including the leader of the group that said, we want this man out, said that that's what the constituents told them. The NDC group say that that is what Ghanaians are clamoring for. So they are listening to the cry of the people. And then in the end, we saw that it was the party that prevailed because they were whipped into taking that position. I think that is all clear. We saw the statement that was signed a couple of weeks ago by the General Secretary of the MPP and the whip from the majority group. So in the end, it's not about you and me. I think in the end, it's about some other interests, and that is quite unfortunate. Because if they didn't mean it, I mean, those 80 MPs had no business telling Ghanaians that we want this man out. Now, how do they respond to people questioning their credibility and saying that, and some people have already even started alleging some underhand dealings. I mean, I was on a panel this morning with Dr. Makuba, and he made a number of claims about what might have happened.
That's quite pathetic. That's quite pathetic, Doc. Are we going to continue like this? What must happen for this to change?
I think, unfortunately, in a democracy, Aisha, we have a lot of tools at our disposal as citizens. I mean, we have seen in many countries, well, I mean, if you are not satisfied, you come out and speak out, and so on. I mean, unfortunately, when it comes to changing governments, I think the only democratic means that we have, one of them, let me say so, is maybe every 4 years we go to the polls. But we have seen countries where people have not been satisfied and they came out and through popular kind of discontent, they've been able to change governments. So I don't know what's going to happen in our country, and I don't know whether our country is prepared for this. I mean, otherwise, I think our option is to wait until the next time you and I have an opportunity at the polls, and then the citizens will decide whether the MPs really represented them or not.
Definitely. That time is just near. And it's around the corner. We will voice out our frustration. Thank you so much, Dr. Rashid Rahman. He's director of the Africa Center for Parliamentary Affairs.